Welcome to the kingdom. I'm Chris, and this is Good Enough Gaming. Howdy everybody, and welcome to this bonus video in my series that was comparing Games Workshop to one-page rules. I'd pretty much put that whole thing to bed, but I did remember there was a comment that one of you made on a video of a suggestion of what I should do, and the planets aligned and I was finally able to do it. And the suggestion was to compare direct point values. In other words, so many points of Games Workshop translates into so many points of one-page rules. And recently, some friends at the local gaming store I play at asked if I was willing to join their 40K Crusade League, and because that's narrative driven, there's going to be not as much competitive play in there. You know, people are playing to win, but they're not win at all costs, so I figured, why not give it a try? So they told me that the starting army list was 1,200 points. So I sat down with the Army Builder app that GW provides, and I built myself a 1,200 point list of Necrons. So here's my 1,200 point list. As you can see, I got 4 characters, 3 Cryptechs, and a Skorpekh Lord. I added one tiny enhancement to the Skorpekh Lord, so that added, 15 points, I think it was. Then in Battle Line, I got a unit of 5 Immortals, 2 units of 10 Necron Warriors, and in there I mix and matched 5 of each kind of ranged weapon on them. Then with the other data sheets, I added a Canoptek Doomstalker for some heavy support, a Spider and some Scarabs to kind of give me something to tie down big machines in melee and keep the Scarabs spawning, some Wraiths for some decent melee, 2 Locust Heavy Destroyers for some fire support, and then a squad of Skorpekh Destroyers to act as a bodyguard to the hero, and then a unit of Tomb Blades for some quick zipping around grabbing objectives. So that whole thing comes out to 1,190 points. Then I headed on over to the Army Forge and created the same list with the same units, not necessarily taking 1,200 points and seeing what I could get, but putting in that same number of units. So I got my 4 characters, 3 Cryptechs, one of which is a Tri-Scorpion Lord. Then down under core units, 2 squads of 10 Warriors, 1 squad of 5 Eternals. Then moving down to the Bot Swarms to act as my little bug swarms. Then some Robot Snakes in place of Wraiths. Some Tri-Scorpions to act as the bodyguard for the Skorpekh Lord, a Forge Spider, 2 of the Heavy Annihilators, Hover Bikes, and then that Tripod Walker. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that this is without any additional equipment. In 40K, you don't have to pay for the extra gear, but in one-page rules you do. So this is just the cost of these units as they come stock. And if we take a look up at the top, it comes to 2,700 points. And if I add the proper gear to equip these the exact same way that I had them in the 40K, we're looking at probably close to 3,000 points. It's almost 3 times as many points for the same number of models, which meant if I had done this in the reverse way and said, okay, how many models can I get for 2,000 points in 40K, and how many models can I get for 2,000 points in one-page rules, it's going to be a dramatic difference. And this might be part of the reason, well, part of it is one of the reasons why games of one-page rules go a lot faster. Not only because the rules are a little simpler, you don't have a to-wound roll, stuff just dies faster, there's not as much resilience, but on top of that, you're not playing as big games. So when you play a 2,000 point game of Warhammer 40K, you're looking at 3 to 4 hours, especially if you're not really familiar with your rules and you got to keep looking stuff up. But if you play a 2,000 point game of one-page rules, you can finish within 2 hours, even if you have to keep looking stuff up. And so part of that then is simply the scale of the armies. Now, I do got to mention, this was done with the 10th edition point values. I haven't gone back and checked this with 9th edition and seen how the armies scale there. But in comparison, one-page rules to Warhammer 40K, you're looking at almost a 3-fold increase between what you can field in one-page rules and what you can field in 40K. So the new question here is, I got to play a game of one-page rules with, say, 5,000 points, 6,000 points, and see if that takes the same amount of time as a game of Warhammer 40K with 2,000 points. I'm still guessing it'll be a little bit shorter. The rule system for one-page rules just lends itself to a little bit faster play, and because stuff dies faster, turn 1 will take the longest, turn 2 will be shorter. And as you've seen with most of the games on the channel, I seldom go past turn 3 in any of my games. Now that might change if you've got more models, but playing at the current rules, 2,000 points in Grimdark Future, 1,500 points in Age of Fantasy, that's why these games don't last more than an hour, maybe an hour and a half. So, something to think about. I'm curious what your thoughts are on it. Is that a positive? Is it a negative? Is it just what it is? Let me know, and I will see you on the next video.